Hello everyone, I hope you all will be fine. Today we will be starting the new lesson whose name is Where Love Is, God Is. In the previous video I have briefed you about a man whose name is Martin, and he is very much disappointed with his life that in his very young age he lost his wife, he lost his child, and he has no hope to live, and he is very sad. And suddenly a priest comes to meet him, and he says that you don't leave your hope, because you have to remain alive for God. God wishes that you should do something good. That is why you are alive, and you go and buy a Bible from the market and come and read it, start reading it. Same day he goes to market, and he brings a Bible from the market, and he starts reading every day one or two testaments, one or two paragraphs. He starts to read, and one day in night he was sleeping, and Jesus Christ comes in his dream, and he is saying that, Martin, I am coming to meet you tomorrow. He thought whether I am dreaming or what is it is something I don't know, but if he is coming, I will wait. Same next day he was waiting, and he was waiting for someone, that maybe someone would come to meet me. But after some times old man came to meet him. Then he was cleaning the roads. He just welcomed him. Then again after some time a very poor lady with a very newborn baby came. She was also shivering with cold. He also welcomed him, and gave whatever things he had as a support to him, to her. And after some times the lady came with a basket, who was selling apple, and a boy came. So their case was also something, some dispute. So he went out, and he came out, and he solved their dispute, and just sent them peacefully to their homes. So in night again, when he was sleeping, then those who came in the day to meet him, they came in their dream, and they said that, Martin, I came to meet you because Jesus Christ has sent me to meet you. So in this way he came to know that we should, everyone who is in need, we should serve them, because serving the poor, serving the needy people is similar to serving the God. So this was the whole moral of the story, and paragraph wise explanation was left. We will start the paragraph wise explanation. Before starting, we will be having a quick review at the word meanings. Basement means, we all know that in a very today's modern buildings which is built today, there is a basement there. So basement means the ground level, or the room below the ground level. Many people make the buildings, construct the buildings, and there is a underground room below the ground level, that is called basement. Often people park their vehicles also, but some people live also. That is called basement, the room below the ground level. Infancy means babyhood or childhood. Overwhelming means strong emotions. If we have a very strong emotions, that is called overwhelming. Suppose that if I come to your home, and you just welcome me very nicely, so I will be very grateful to you, that I came and you welcomed me very nicely. There will be a feeling of thankfulness will come. So, and a strong feeling of thankfulness will come. That is called overwhelming. It can be in good feelings, in the sense of good feeling also, and it can be in the sense of sad feelings also. Suppose that if someone is lost, we are very much eager, we are very much sad. That is also a overwhelming situation. That is called overwhelming. Reproaching means protesting. Suppose that on roads we see the people are marching, that government has passed any rule, and the people are not agreeing with it. So they will march on the roads and say that no, and display the banner that remove this type of law. We don't want this type of law. That is called protesting. So protesting means reproaching. Suppose that means conveying my disagreement with something, that is called reproaching or protesting. Gospel means it is the record of Jesus Christ's life. Testament means the Bible. And Pharisee means Jew. Jew is also one of a priest. of in the of the Christianity. So this is the whole up to today's what we will study up to that part. These word meanings, the difficult words and meanings are there. Let us see the book. In a certain town there lived a cobbler, Martin Adwick. He had a tiny room in a basement, the one window of which looked out on the street. Through it, one could only see the feet of those who passed by, but Martin recognized the people by their boots. There was hardly a pair of boots in the neighborhood that had not been once or twice through his hands, so he often saw his own handiwork through the window. He had plenty to do, for he worked well, used good material, did not charge too much, and could be relied on. So he was well known and never short of work. So there was a cobbler whose name is Martin Adwick, and he lived in a very small room in a basement, and there was a window in that basement, and from the window he used to see who is going on. By seeing the shoes only he could recognize who is going, because everybody's shoes of the locality he had made. So by seeing the shoes he could recognize who is going on, because he was the cobbler, and he had plenty of work because he was a ethical worker. He did not charge very much of his work, and uh, gave the people good quality of work, and charged very less for his work. So that is why there was no shortage of work for him. While he still worked for a master, before he set up on his own account, his wife had died. First of all, he was working as a worker in any other cobbler's shop, uh, establishment. He was working as a worker, but after some times he thought that I will establish my own workstation for working. But before establishing his own shop, his wife has died, leaving him with a 3-year-old son, and his 3-year-old son was only left with him. None of his elder children had lived; they had all died in infancy, and his all the elder children, they had all died in their babyhood and in childhood only. Martin left his master and went into his lodgings with his little son. But he had no luck with his children. No sooner had the boy reached an age when he could help his father and be a support as well as a joy to him, than he fell ill, and after being laid up for a week with a burning fever, died. Martin buried his son and gave way to despair so great and overwhelming that murmured against God. In his sorrow he prayed again and again that he too might die, reproaching God for having taken the son he loved, his only son, while he, old as he was, remained alive. After the Martin also left off going to church. Means after some times, his when the 3-year-old son he was taking care of, he brought him up, and when he got some older and he was able to help his father, at that time he also got sick, and within a week he was suffering of very high fever, and he also died. He buried his son's dead body, and after that he was very much disappointed by his life, and he was so overwhelming means strong emotions, and here he said strong emotion of sadness is coming in him, and he is reproaching to God, not reproaching to government, but reproaching to God, because he is thinking that God is doing such an injustice to me, and he is reproaching God that why have you done this, and if you have to do it, why have you remained me alive? I will take my life also. He is saying in this way, he is reproaching to God, he is protesting to God, and after that he also used to leave to go to church. One day an old man from Martin's native village, who had been a pilgrim for the last 8 years, called in on his way from the Troitsa monastery. Martin opened his heart to him and told him of his sorrow. I no longer even wish to live, holy man, he said. All I ask God is that I soon may die. I am now quite without hope in the world. So one day a man of his native village, who was a pilgrim also, he came from the Troista monastery, that and he said that he welcomed him, and but he said that I am very full of sorrow, very full of sadness, and I don't want to remain alive. And please pray to God that I may also die soon. The old man replied, You have no right to say such things, Martin. We cannot judge God's ways. Not our reasoning, but God's will decide. If God willed that your son should die and you should live, it must be best so. As to your despair, that comes because you wish to live for your own happiness. The holy man said that no, this what you are thinking because you are thinking of your own happiness. But we have to live for the God's happiness. If God is wishing that your son will die, you should die and you should remain alive, that is God's wish, and we have to respect the God's wish. What else should one live for? Asked Martin. Martin is now asking for whom I should live. Nobody is there in my world. Why I should live? For God, Martin, said the old man. He gives you life and you must live for him. He replies that you should live for God because God has given you the life and you should live for him. Martin was silent a while and then asked, but how is one to live for God? He is saying that how I can live for God. The old man answered, can you read? Then buy the gospel and read them. There you will see how God would have you live. So he is saying that you are a cobbler, so can you read something? He said yes. So the holy man said that you go and buy a gospel. Gospel means a record of Jesus Christ's life, and read it. So Jesus Christ will know you, let you know how to live. These words sank deep into Martin's heart, and that the same day he went and brought himself a testament in large print and began to read. Same day he went to market and he brought a testament. Testament means the Bible, Bible, and he started to read. At first he meant only to read on holidays, but having once begun, he found it made his heart so light that he read every day. First of all, he was reading it only in his holidays, when he was becoming free. But when he started to read once, his heart was getting delighted. So he used to read it every day. His life became peaceful and joyful. It happened once that Martin sat up late, absorbed in his book. One day Martin was sitting up late and he was reading his book. He read in Luke's Gospel, give to every man that asks thee, and as ye would that man should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. It was written in the own language of Christ, that was in Israeli language, but its meaning is that one who is in need, you should recognize him, you should help him, and whatever need is required, you should always provide to the one who is coming to meet you. When Martin read these words, his soul was glad within him. He tried his own life by the standard of those words. He came to the part where a rich Pharisee invited the Lord to his house but did not receive him well. So there is a story in the Bible that one Pharisee is there, one Pharisee means Jew is there, who invited Jesus Christ at his home, and he did not welcome him nicely. So he suffered a lot. He just thinking about it, and he is thinking that am I also not behaving well with my guest? What should I bring? What changes should I bring in myself? So these things he was thinking. Remaining parts we will be studying in the later video. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a wonderful day.